John, I have moved. We're out of the shack. I'm in a brand new unit, moved on the weekend. And, I called to see if you could help. But, of course, you were too busy, weren't you? I thought you were a good friend, a good family member, a good person.
But I see your true colors shining through.
It's a shame,
Sam.
John. It's a shame.
Oh, Sam. You're walking on dangerous ground, my friend.
Yeah, sing it, Casey Chambers. She knows the truth.
Oh, Sam. All right, Sam.
True colour.
I want you to do some counting for me.
Oh, yeah, I got hands. I can do some counting.
How many times have you helped me move?
How many times have I helped you move? How many times have you moved?
I've moved once, twice, 3, about 5 times I've moved.
I'll admit moving is not my forte.
So how many times?
0. Okay.
In my entire life?
But I have, listen, moving's not my forte. I even managed to avoid my own move last time. I remember I had a work shift on. So
You and these work shifts. That was the excuse for most of the times you didn't help me. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, true.
It's like I'm completely convinced that a lot of people go to their work and say, "Oh, look, I've got something on this day. Is there a possibility of getting out of this shift?" I bet you went up like every time and said, "Look, I have to work this day. Just make sure you roster me on this day."
Someone switched for me. But it is good to be here in the new studio, so we shouldn't have any podcast ghosts. But welcome to the Sam and John podcast.
I had a good reason, Sam.
Oh, where were you? What were you doing, huh? Why couldn't you help me lift a box and put it down?
I was seeing Adele.
Ooh, she was in the country.
She was in the country and she was at the Etihad Stadium, right in the middle of the stadium there, and being the
a boss,
swearing her head off. I brought my 7-year-old son along to learn some bad habits.
Yes, she sings like an angel, so beautiful, powerful, but her talking voice is a little bit like that, isn't it? Something. Yeah, and a little bit of the swears.
All over the shop.
Naughty Adele.
She's funny. It was pretty cool.
I read some news that someone even got a little married.
Well, that was the weird thing. Like, they said they were married, but then the guy proposed. I never got to propose. So he proposed to the other him. It was one of those gay ones.
2 dudes. One of those gays at the Adele.
That happens these days.
Is that...
There's a lot of gay people there. I think she's got an affinity with the...
That's similar to... what's her name? Gaga.
Kylie Minogue.
Really? Maybe that's our appeal, John. It's very popular nowadays.
Maybe we should appeal to the gays.
We need to get the gays. We need to get the gays on board. It did make me wonder, though. He was on stage, I assume, when he did the big proposal.
Yeah, she got this guy up on stage because he was like shaking and like losing his shit. And then, the other dude wanted to jump up there, and then it all happened. It seemed a bit staged. She was like, "Oh, I didn't know that was going to happen."
I reckon the reason they did it at the Adele concert is because they had a backup. If the guy did say no, then Adele could just break into... If you're gonna let me down gently.
You got that one in your back pocket, didn't you?
That's on my little musicals.
If we weren't getting kicked off the air for copyright infringement before, we definitely are now.
Yes,
in this episode, Sam.
We like to use...
I think you get away with it a bit more in podcasts.
Copyright.
Especially when you're as big and popular as ours is.
You can do anything. No one's going to stop us, John.
You can.
I wanted to start off the show, John, though, with one of our favourite little segments. People will know it. We like to talk about toilet humour. It's very popular in a segment we like to call...
Tales of the Toilet. What will they discuss today? Something toilet related. Restroom flush and flush it down. Poos and wheeze. What I want. Tell me all
Why do you
about
want
the
it?
toilet. What tales you have?
We want the toilet, John.
Tell me
I've never really thought of that before,
things
but-
about the toilet, John and Sam. Hey.
It's just, it can't be
Toilet,
explained.
toilet.
Oh, you've got limitless flush now.
Flush. Yes,
Moved
ladies
out of
and
the
gentlemen.
country.
In the country, we had a water tank, so you had to be careful with your flushes. Here on Maine's Water, I've got 2 years to catch up with. Flush all day, John. Flush all day. The only thing that'll empty is my bank account. All right, John, so this little tale of the toilet comes all the way from China, as Trump would say. They've got some habits are a little different to ours. They've got this new technology in their restrooms, John. Have you
Catching
heard
up with
of
the
this?
Japanese, are they?
Yes, you got biometric scanners, to log into secure vaults maybe in the CIA or I don't know, McDonald's, I think, had a thumb scan at one point.
Just to get into your computer.
Just to get in your computer or
into
your phone.
You just thumb. I've already spoken on the podcast how I've given all my privacy rights away for convenience.
Well, soon you'll be giving your
Sickened by myself.
face away to Chinese toilets. Because the latest Chinese toilets have been installed with facial recognition toilet paper dispensing units.
What? So
Facial
I don't get the
recognition.
connection.
Here's how it works, John. Apparently, in China, there's some places where it's actually a bit of an issue with people stocking up on their home supply of toilet paper and soap and toiletries by, just sneaking a couple of extra rolls from the public toilets.
Well, that's what happens when you get paid 12 cents a day for working bloody 16-hour shifts making 12
Making
cents a day.
iPhones.
You can't afford. Yeah, you can't afford toilet paper. You're going to get it anywhere you can.
Anywhere you can. Not anymore, because they got these new things. It recognizes who you are, and you're only allowed to withdraw toilet paper once every 9 minutes. And it only gives you a couple of feet or something. People were complaining it's not enough, however much it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And some cities, because it's a big problem, some cities say they don't even offer toilet paper. Sometimes you've got to bring your own. Or there's a communal supply of toilet paper.
People say that, China's on its way. This is the century of, China becoming the new superpower. This is just proof that it just can't happen.
It just can't
That's
happen.
ridiculous. You can't be a superpower and be limiting people to 2 feet of toilet paper.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm quite a user of toilet paper. Some people can get away with using little. I seem to need
You're a
a bit
happy
more
user.
than most. I think. I mean, I'm not sure how much other people use, but if I need some, I need some. I'm not walking around with a dirty ass.
Indulgent. You've got to be indulgent. It's one of the luxuries we have in life.
So now,
Toilet paper.
okay, if I go to China, I'm gonna have to keep a little
A little supply.
a little pocket tissues
Secret supply.
handy.
Because what if you forget? This like a communal machine. You have to scan your face before you hop in. If you go in, you got no toilet paper.
But they're really hardcore about this. I mean, think of like how much toilet paper costs, and then think of how much the face scanner would have cost, and the technology to run that continually.
this is
The
hardcore.
infrastructure would have cost a lot more than a few years worth of toilet paper, I
How much
imagine.
is toilet paper? Maybe it's a hidden market. Maybe we should be exporting our toilet paper. Forget oil, forget cows or coal. We should be exporting our toilet paper if it's such a high commodity.
Maybe. Well, people export baby formula to China
I never got why is that? Do they just not have the ingredients?
because
or something? What is it?
the people in China just I don't really get. I used to know. I can't really remember, but they everyone's thinking the formula is like the cool thing.
The bee's knees.
And it's really expensive over there for some weird reason. And so a lot of people, a lot of shops in Australia were selling out of baby formula because people were buying like shelves worth of it and exporting it to China,
Wow.
like a little eBay kind
Little
of scheme. or
eBay
something.
business deal. Well, that's all right. Maybe, because I've mentioned it before, I will eventually be ordering my Funk cards, my business. Yuki sometimes emails me during the podcast. Good to have you. But maybe, rather than trading US dollars or Australian dollars, just get a little envelope, a couple of squares. There you go. Have good fun.
Couple of squares.
Couple of squares.
Chuck it on eBay, see what happens.
Yeah, one roll. Available shipping worldwide, especially to China. Express shipping, very express. Because if you need it, you need it.
Well, that's pretty good. We need some sort of Amazon Prime kind of action. We'll just drone it in.
Drone
That'd
in.
be cool if Amazon could get their shit together. And if I don't know if
Yeah,
they're-
well-
I don't know if they're launched in China. They're probably banned. Everything's freaking banned in China. But if they're not, if they can get someone who can like order toilet paper while they're there in the cubicle and they could like drone it into the restaurant
That's it.
over the barrier, then they've really tapped into something.
Amazon,
exciting.
get your shit together so other people can get their shit together.
I love the connections.
Tales of the Toilet. What will they discuss today? Something toilet related. Rest and flush it down.
Yes, and toilet
That they
paper.
Well, I was listening to a podcast again recently.
You
Sam.
cheater.
I know,
You,
I
you're
do.
listening to other podcasts.
I do.
I thought I was special. John.
That's
But I
right.
see your true
Oh, Sam, I'm all out of tissues.
Yeah.
They didn't. I've
Yeah,
been,
the drone's not here yet. Okay.
That's right. So anyway, I've been listening to a podcast, and this particular one was all about something called ecstasis.
Ecstasis.
It's one of these weird made-up words by someone who wrote a book. If you write a book, you've got the right to make up at least one word, and so that's what they did. But
One
it's
word per
basically
book.
about the same guy wrote a book about flow. I think the book's actually called Stealing Fire.
It sounds like drugs. Flow,
Yeah,
ecstasis.
well-
I got a little flow on my ecstasis. And man, I was on fire.
you'd be on the right track because it's all about. He wrote something about flow, which is that flow state where just everything's just rocking and
You're in the
focused in.
zone.
You're in the zone.
The
That's
zone.
exactly what I'm talking about. So you're in the zone. Everything's flowing. Like if you're playing basketball, you're just dropping every shot. You just know everywhere to move. If you're writing, so if you're writing a video for your YouTube
Bang.
channel, everything's just like, oh yeah, I'm just funny as fuck right now.
I was in the flow yesterday, John. I was in the flow.
You're in the flow, man. And then so there's a lot of people out there that are just like studying this and just working out how to get into that state and just stay in that state. And then now this whole ecstasis movement is all about how you can just artificially kind of just invoke this state and it'll make it last for as long as you can. So there's a lot of people in, the Silicon Valley types and the super cool like CEOs of massive companies and all this that are microdosing on LSD.
Ooh, the old throwback.
They call it a microdose because it's not like when they're not trying to get like Timothy Leary level expansion of consciousness. They're just looking for that little bit of a loosening of the prefrontal cortex to kind of just kind of sit there and simmer a little more.
What's happened to the world? It used to be the hippies and the musicians taking their little druggy wugs to have artistic inspiration.
Druggy wugs.
and stuff. Well, now the business, the total opposite, the corporate fat cats.
Yeah, well,
are now taking a little
they
dose.
found that there was a high percentage of the Forbes top 50 or top 500 or whatever it is that the engineers of tech companies and everything were just microdosing on LSD as a regular thing at work to inspire creativity and sort of get yourself out of that. Hello, Bobcat.
Oh, we got a little cat.
Bobcat's just get off my
the
computer.
little podcast cat. He's trying to sabotage the podcast. He's a cheeky
making
little
noises
podcast
and things.
sabotage.
Go away.
Good boy.
All right.
boy.
Anyway, back to the point at hand. He have a little microdose, mate.
He
and
felt
off you go.
Yeah, he felt you were a little too unfocused.
Yeah. He's trying to focus me in. But anyway, it's supposed to turn off, like the prefrontal cortex is apparently where all the decision making and all the logical stuff happens. And these sort of things are supposed to kind of turn a bit of that circuitry off so that you're not analyzing everything that goes on and you're able to sort of brainstorm a little bit more and think laterally and not think so logically. And that's what these people are trying to do.
I wonder if the analysts are taking it and then they just don't do anything. They just sit there.
Yeah,
It's like,
they're just
it's
like,
gone.
I can't figure this out. well, that's the thing. Apparently, when you're in these sort of states, it's not a good idea to do things like go shopping.
Sorry, my cat. He's having a good time.
People listening to the podcast, there's lots of sounds going on because Bobcat is an annoying pain in the ass.
He's
And
all right.
Just sit there.
He wants to be part of the action. But of course, I should mention that this
Press the bell,
episode
press the bell.
is on the Sam and John Show YouTube channel. So check that out.
Yes, you can
Link
watch.
will be in the description.
But
if you
you're
wanna see
not
video.
losing anything by just listening on the podcast. It's just
We need a
seeing
little
a
bit
cat being a pain in the
of
ass.
this LSD because we're so distracted right now.
We do.
We are
maybe
so distracted by a
we
cat.
should microdose for the next Sam and John podcast.
yeah,
and just
microdose.
see where it takes us.
Of course, not condoning drugs if that's against YouTube community guidelines, but
Well,
on the podcast guidelines when we can get away with anything. eh?
yeah, well,
What do you say?
that's where we like to live. But anyway, I thought, well, maybe we could try something like that now, Sam, because
Okay. You got some on
basically
you, do you? Yeah.
microdosing is not the only way.
I knew you were a hippie.
No,
All right,
no,
here we
no.
go. Yeah.
Microdosing is not the only way to go about it, Sam. Apparently, there's lots of things that people are doing, even giving themselves using like magnets to give themselves kind of like electromagnets on their temples to give themselves kind of like electric shocks.
All right, I got a magnet right now, John. Where do I put it?
Well, all right. You're gonna have to put it on your head there, Sam.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling something.
And now,
I'm feeling a little placebo.
hang on. I gotta like
There's a bit of
I gotta
placebo
like
around.
plug it in here. Hang on.
Yeah, could you power it? Could you power it, please?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There you go. All right. Hang on. It's.
Ah,
I just got to charge
stings.
it. Hang on.
Okay, so we're charging the electromagnet with a bit of static on the carpet. All right, it's
There you go.
charged.
Yep.
All right, we got a live wire here.
All right. So just put it on your forehead there. Yeah.
All right,
And
all right. Am I relaxed?
yeah. Just Yeah. Yeah. Hang on a sec. Just hold it there. More. Okay. It doesn't take long.
Oh, wow, that's
It doesn't take long. It's all right. Well done.
Wow, I was so zen. I was like
So
on another
zen.
plane.
So,
Nirvana.
all right. Now, so you're in the zone. Now, you totally flow. You're like,
I'm with it, man.
you're with the
What do you
flow.
wanna do,
So
man?
I got a few questions for you.
What's life all about? What's it all about, man?
I have a few questions for you.
Yeah, I'm ready, baby. Take it.
Oh, I had questions here. Sabotka deleted them all, but I've managed to undo. So, Sam, how do we achieve world peace?
Ladies and gentlemen, this question has marred people for all their lifetime. But of course, the answer has been here all along. Toilet paper delivery drones. All angst comes from people worrying about their buttholes. And now they can be clean for all time.
This is amazing, Sam. This is amazing because Elon Musk always talks about first principles, about losing all of our assumptions about everything and just going back to what we know.
Yeah.
And that's what you've done there. You've looked at things from first principles. People shit.
People
And
shit.
if they can't wipe that shit,
Stress. All
and
war.
stress is the result. The result of stress
From the butthole.
is war. I love it, Sam. Well, I've got another one for you. What is the formula for limitless energy?
Limitless energy, another question that has eluded people. Some people say it's cold fission, cold fusion, but I say it's hot tamale. If you eat a hot tamale, you will be filled with vigorous energy all day. You may need some of those toilet paper drones afterwards, but for those short minutes, you will have unlimited energy.
Hot tamale for the world. Hot tamale and toilet paper for the world, and we're just heading towards a utopian existence. All right, I've got one final one for you, Sam. This is a more practical kind of one, something that we can sort of implement. How do we get more listeners for this show?
Listeners for the show. A great question, John. A question that has... John, where am I? What? That magnet, it ran out. It ran out of juice, John. Geez, I don't know. I'm just going to have to go off my non-zen. Maybe we can just yell at people from the street corners. See, it's not as good as when you're on the Zen.
Idea.
You're not as good when you're on the Zen,
It's
are
no
you?
good. No good at all.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have a little more Zen. As we come back from this break, we'll have a little dream invention and we'll have a good time. Ooh, were you feeling that one? Yes, John rings his bell. It rings John's bell. Good whistle. I've been doing some whistles. You've learnt a thing or two.
Ring my bell. That was terrible.
Yeah. What isn't terrible, though, John, is my little inventions.
Sam's dream inventions, he is dreaming up the world. Dreaming of fantastic things to be used by the boys and the girls. What a fantastic genius, he's so smart when he sleeps. Such an admirable, good-looking guy, and he comes up with the most inventive dreams. Sam's dream invention.
Here we go again. Strap yourselves in, folks.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sam's Dream Inventions, where each week I have a little epiphany in my snoozles and I bring them to the show for everyone's earballs and for John's investment, which I think today we have a really good one for you. So, John, there's inventions, of course, and what do all inventions need? They need some patents.
Some patents,
They need some patents.
Or else someone can steal
I
it.
can steal them, but you know,
It's still an invention, though.
it's a long process to get these patents. A lot of rigmarole, a lot of red tape, blue tape,
A lot of what?
tape.
What a roll?
Rigmarole, John. Results.
You haven't written a book, Sam. You don't get to make up words.
All right. I don't get to make up words. I'm going to look that up after the show. I think I had that in my little LSD moment there. But what they need patents, but they take too long to organise. It's all this patent pending BS. So I've invented a very quick patent that's very easy to apply for, very easy to use. I call them reverse patents. Here's the way it works. Instead of the patent protecting you, it gives everyone 1 year to compete. So you apply for the reverse patent instantly, bang, $10, you got it. But you're not protected straight away. You have 10 years. You have 1 year until you're fully protected. So it's a free for all. It encourages competition, and then the best one wins. The best person wins.
So rather than a patent that does protect you straight away, you want people to pay to apply for one that not only allows people to try and steal their idea and make competition for themselves, but actively advertises the fact that they've invented this thing. So you can't even keep it a secret until you get your patent. It's almost like you apply for the patent and it just announces to the world,
Facebook,
someone's
Twitter.
made this thing,
Yep.
quickly come in and make it better.
That's it. It encourages competition, John, and you need to be confident. From now on, we won't have half-baked crazy inventions. We will have fully confident, competent inventions. In fact, I'm willing to put a reverse patent on my reverse patent idea.
Someone's well.
Anyone who wants to make better reverse patents,
I would.
Free for all.
I'd argue against that, Sam, because I mean it's not going to be easy. I mean it's not going to be hard to come up with an idea better than a reverse patent.
all right, I give you 1 second to think of one.
Just keep it a secret until you can get a patent.
How do we make money from that, though?
Sam's dream inventions, he is dreaming up the world, dreaming of fantastic things
So
to
I'm
be
guessing
used
no
by
investment
the
from that,
boys
no
and
investment?
girls.
Nice investments.
I think I'm not really a fan of most of your inventions, but I think a reverse patent.
Well, basically all my inventions have been reverse patents for now. I haven't applied for any patents. I haven't kept them secret. I've been bringing them up
announced them
on
to
the
the world?
podcast. Anyone's free. They've had a
But
whole
you haven't
year.
laid down the challenge. You haven't said you got 1 year, or else then I'm bringing this out to the world. Oh, we gave them about a year on decoy toilets, but we haven't
That's
sort
it.
of
And
followed
we still
through.
haven't followed through. Pardon the pun. Good times.
Ugh.
Let's move on. You got a bit of a moral dilemma?
I do, Sam. A bit of a moral dilemma. Now, this is a bit. I wondered whether I should bring this up on the podcast because it's probably not very
Ooh,
savoury,
risque,
but we like to be a little
risque.
controversial
Okay, I
here on
like
the
it.
show, Sam. I was thinking I ran into this problem a little while ago.
Okay.
Now, it's a moral dilemma, Sam. Now, it's more of a question to you. I'll present to you the moral dilemma.
Do I need the magnet?
No,
Okay.
just you just need a penis.
All right. Yeah. Hang on. Yeah. Pretty sure. Yeah.
Is it rude to stare at a woman who's not wearing a bra in public?
In public. Now, are you staring just at their face? That's fine.
Well,
What's your problem? The eyes are up there.
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like I sometimes see this is the problem. I find it sometimes involuntary.
Oh, they got a reverse pattern on the.
It's kind of hypnotizing. It's kind of
Right.
like a micro dose of LSD.
You're getting in the
It's-
zone. You're getting in the flow.
My prefrontal cortex has been switched off instantly. I think a lot of the CEOs in Silicon Valley type should try this. Just have some braless women walking around the
That's
office.
why they hire
And
those assistants.
I'm going to get in so much shit for this.
Every
Like,
time they walk in the office, they're in the zone. Come in, Stacey. What are my calls? What's going on?
world peace.
Oh, yeah.
But it's strange because it's strangely hypnotizing because you can always tell. And I've got to consciously not look at this point. So is it rude, or are they not wearing the bra? Should they be allowed to not wear a bra and expect the privacy of
Kind
from
of a
the eyes,
different
or
angle.
what?
Because we have talked about with people with certain disabilities, like they might be missing part of their limb. whether
Yeah,
it's
we've
rude to
spoken
stare
about
or
this. Is
not.
it rude to stare? Well, now that's not a disability; it's a conscious choice. But but it's very natural. They should be allowed to do this without being ogled.
And it's all
I
the
guess.
women's movement, It's all about, if I don't want to wear a bra, I might burn it around the corner and I'll bloody stop looking at my little boobies, John. And you're like, hubba, hubba, hubba.
But the thing is, it's not like a voluntary, like I'm going to ogle and be a prick and be a a pig. It's just
a human
for like a
thing.
few seconds. My prefrontal cortex is completely disabled and removed from my brain, and then the staring might happen for just a few seconds. Then I realize, like, oh shit, I shouldn't be doing this.
Yes, your
But it's almost
evolutionary
involuntary. So am I being rude?
tract goes back a couple of centuries, back to primal John.
I mean, it's not all women, just the
Primal
hot
people.
ones.
Oh, now he's picky. All right. All right. Yeah. How subconscious is that?
Yes.
Yeah,
And I hope my wife isn't listening to this podcast.
Good
But anyway,
Lord. All right. So, moral dilemma. The moral dilemma is: do you look at the untethered titties?
yes.
I reckon you have a little bit of decorum, John. We live in a civilized world. You may get away with this on the moon, where they're not civilized, John. Become an astronaut. I think bras are regulatory on there.
All right.
So you're out
then
of luck.
I need to discipline my mind and just
Discipline your mind, John.
turn off the lizard brain that decides to just divert my vision without conscious input.
All right, hang on. Here's my thing. You have a good 3 seconds.
Okay, so you're giving me those 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
Involuntary
now.
3 seconds.
Come on now.
okay.
Don't say, oh, let me start the clock. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Where's another one? Another 3 seconds. No. Involuntary 3 seconds to catch yourself.
So
Otherwise,
you're giving me the benefit of the doubt. here.
Otherwise, you have to go up publicly and sorry, excuse me, miss, I was staring on your tartars, but I must now vacate myself from the situation.
Apologies.
Apologies. But people, if you want to chime in, let us know. Funky
Let us
Time
know.
on
Give us
TV.
the hot tip.
Go to Sam and John tab there and leave us the
Send
hot
your,
tip.
once again, send your hate mail.
Send your mail to John.
Sam and John tab on
You
the funky
womanizing.
TV.
Again, true colours coming through.
Yeah. This
That's the moral
that
dilemma.
was the moral dilemma, Sam.
All right, John, that's interesting. Something for people to stew on and think about. But it was such a hit last week. We got such a good response from people that I'm bringing back another segment, John, which you love the intro to. It is, of course, my financial hot tips.
Oh, this is right, Sam. I mean, you've just moved into your new abode.
My new abode, yes. Things are getting very
We're in the
financial.
new office here. This is very cool. It's a lot different from the shack.
A lot different from the shack.
It doesn't have that same sort of grimy, authentic
No.
funk to it.
Less
But,
spiders, more reception, and more power reliability. So that's always a plus. And this financial tip is somewhat to do with properties and stuff, because there is a family in Tasmania, of course, the two-headed colony of Australia down south. Who
There's one big family in
It
Tasmania.
is just one big. It's just the Tasmanian family.
apparently.
It is. Yeah, that's it. Who they have a honey farm. They make honey at their little the little farm down there. You get your bees. They make it for them. Good business. But they've avoided paying
Slave labour, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, the Queen. They're run by a Queen. You know, it's bloody royalty.
No, the bees are the slaves to the farm. Anyway,
So they can avoid tax. They've been avoiding paying their land tax, John.
how?
Because they claim that no one can own the land. It belongs to God. You can't tax me. This is God's land.
Yeah, but this isn't working, surely.
They haven't paid it for 2 years. And it's a bit of a hubbub. It's a bit of like, oh, geez, what do we do? I was like, I don't know.
Where's the hubbub? Just tell them you got to pay.
Well, it all becomes a thing. Like, can you prove that God,
Well, God
owns the land?
Well, bloody God owns my land, then I won't pay any tax. Is that going to work?
This is it. This is the financial tip. I reckon we can all avoid taxes
Oh, well, I like it.
if we believe in God.
Well, there was a guy. What was his name? I can't remember. He made a micronation.
Jesus. Oh, sorry.
No, well, yeah, there was that dude. He took some land, didn't he? I guess. Did they take
The
Israel?
promised land, John.
I
The
don't
promised
know.
land.
The promised land. That's right.
Yeah,
no, that
there's
was
a-
Moses, wasn't it?
Anyway.
Um,
Yeah, there's like an independent people in Australia. They print their own money, their own stamp.
yeah, there was this dude. He had this big, massive property, and he made a micronation called the Principality of what the hell was it called?
Their names, whatever their names are.
Anyway, so
Google
he
it.
made his own country, pretty much, his own micronation, and he had these big fights with the government. And the government finally said, "Oh shit, this is too hard," and gave in.
Just have it.
And so he's just running his own. He's the sultan.
It's a bit of a tourist attraction because you can sell the stamps. You have your own little money.
Yeah.
It's not a very appealing place. I saw it on like one of the TV 60 Minutes or something. It's just a bit of his own little shack out in the middle of
And I
nowhere.
guess he wouldn't get a lot of the benefits either. There'd be no services. I think he had his own postal service for a little while.
Just go down the road. Here you go, Murray. Cheers, Bob. Thank you very much.
Principality of Hutt River.
Hutt River, there you go. Look it
There
up.
you go.
Research that one. But it made me think, because now renting, John, as I'm renting, got to pay the bills. I do have to make offerings to the Lord, the landlord.
Yes.
So,
and this is it does actually. This land is actually owned by this landlord.
Yes, this Lord does own the land. So every month I go to the Lord and I say, "O landlord, thou art in Brunswick or something. Thy rent be due, thy rent be paid. Here you go, as it is in your pocket." That's the little monthly ritual I do
Is it?
to stay here.
That's interesting.
I've just started it. Yeah. How do you pay your bills? What's going on?
Well, I don't know, not as ceremoniously as you, but maybe I should start that little bill ritual.
Bill ritual.
Sort of giving up the offering of the hard-earned cash over to the bloodsuckers of the world.
Just don't burn it. That's the problem. You make that mistake once, you only make it once. Don't burn it.
Well, I don't know about this, Sam, so I'd like to follow this story, see if they're getting away with it.
Follow it. See if you can get away with it. See if you can get a little free tax from your landlord.
I like it, Sam. That was, what was it?
It was a Sam's financial hot tip. Yes, I got
That's
the timing
brilliant,
right
Sam.
that
I like
time.
this one better than last time because it's all about not paying the government. Whereas last time you were about just not paying anybody, and I'm like, we can't have a whole place where people don't pay people because then that's just being a rude prick, really.
That's it. Well, we're out of time. Of course, if you want to send us some dollars, send it in the mail, burn it in an offering to Sam and John. But until next time,
John Bulldog is signing off.
Sam
for another
Tucker.
week. Sorry, I just talked over your internal sign off. That's just so rude of me.
oh, well, yeah, you know.
But I see your true colors shining through.
You're going the
I'll be right, man. I'll be right.
I'll be right all the way to the back.
Everyone's going to tell you which way to go, sir.
So was the Adele concert any good? It's quite good. Quite nice.
It was pretty good.
Got the vocal cords.
Yeah, she had the
All of them?
singing and all that sort of stuff, and she was funny. I like the funniness.
Bit of
in it as
jokes,
well.
bit of humour.
I didn't get to talk about on the way home. We took a train somewhere. Like we parked away and took the train in, took the train back, got in the car. On the way home, 2 massive bloody huntsmans.
You are haunted.
I am bloody haunted.
You were
We were
haunted by
driving
the
back,
huntsman.
and then on my window, just as soon as we took off, a big bloody huntsman on my window. Go out, try to find it, can't find it. Go back and go and then there's another one, an even bigger one on my wife's side, and just freaking out, man. I'll tell you more about this next week because it's
John,
insane.
you got to make those offerings to your landlord. This is the landlord apocalypse.